Decide for yourself. The downsides of modeling the universe as activity. What if the hardest thing in the world was to see the world as it actually moves? Not as things, not as objects, but as activity. Welcome to Decide for Yourself. The downsides of modeling the universe as activity. At first, it sounds freeing, almost poetic. A universe not made of solid, separate objects, but of infinite activities arising and disappearing. Breathing, walking, thinking, burning, eroding, decaying, blooming. No static essence anywhere. Just motion, just change, just flow. But here's the hidden problem. The moment you name an activity, you've stopped engaging with it as an activity. Call it walking, and suddenly there's a walker. Call it thinking, and now there's a thinker. The act of naming, of saying what is happening, turns the living stream into something still enough to talk about. That's the first downside. The very language that lets us communicate the insight instantly betrays it. The Tao Te Ching warned us. The Tao that can be spoken is not the eternal Tao. And the Buddha, too, faced this paradox. To describe impermanence is to make impermanence sound permanent. And yet, we can't live without names. Without naming, there's no learning, no memory, no coordination. So the second downside is deeper. Even when we know the universe is made of activity, our minds can't stay there for long. We inevitably objectify. You can watch your breath for hours, but the moment the thought appears, I am breathing, bam, the activity stream comes to a screeching halt. There's now an I who breathes, and a breath that belongs to that I. And it's not just a philosophical dilemma. Science faces the same trap. Physicists speak of fields and probabilities that become strangely fixed when we stop to measure them. Biology too. We talk about metabolism, as if there was such a thing apart from a living process that never stays the same for 2 moments. The irony is that to study activity, you must interrupt it. To measure flow, you must freeze it. In meditation, the problem becomes intimate. You sit quietly, observing sensations, thoughts, and feelings as they arise and vanish. But the moment you say, rising, falling, warmth, coolness, you've stepped outside the activity. You've become the observer. The practice meant to dissolve the subject-object split can, if not careful, reinforce it. The act of noticing creates both the noticed and the noticer. And this reveals the hardest truth of all. Seeing the universe as pure activity isn't just difficult. It may be almost impossible to sustain. Because the mind's default mode is differentiating, naming, and grasping. To see activity as activity requires letting go of that reflex completely. No handles, no edges, no nouns. Only verbs. But the human brain was built to carve the world into pieces, not to rest in the uncarved whole. So when we say, the universe is activity, we're already one step removed. We've made an object out of a verb. We've turned the river into a map of the river. And yet, maps are useful. We can't live without them. The danger comes when we mistake the map for the movement itself. That's why this view, seeing the universe as activity, is so hard to do. It asks us to live without clinging to names, without holding even the insight itself as an idea. The moment we say, now I see it, we don't. The moment we declare, it's all activity, it's already something else. So perhaps the real practice isn't to hold the view, but to glimpse it in silence. In that instant before words arise, before thought draws boundaries, before you name what's happening. Perhaps that's the only place activity remains what it is. Ungrasped, unobjectified, alive, and free. You decide.